Yeah, man. So what is going on, dude? Let's talk some wrestling.
Hey, hey. Well, we talked. So last week we did I think we did it for WrestleMania as well, but we really went to and spent last week's show talking a bit about wrestling. We typically talk about movies, comics, video games, and alongside that, basically anything you're going to find at Comic Con. I guess we also found at Comic Con wrestling. So we
Yeah.
talked a bit about wrestling, talked about SummerSlam, and we found we got some following on the TikTok, the talking of ticks. So that's always a
Yes.
cool thing.
Yeah, man. WWE official is following us. I posted a lot of the SummerSlam stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'm still working out the kinks on getting a lot of that stuff done, especially like kind of trying to do cross platforms.
Sure.
But yeah, dude, it's pretty cool. But we had some good talk last week.
We did. So the keeping and we like to shake up the podcast area. So also what we're gonna do is, at least for the next few weeks, is we're gonna talk a little bit about wrestling. So here's my deal. So I was I'm saying lifelong means since 1988. I became a wrestling fan. The reason I became a wrestling fan, I had a cousin who came to visit me from New Jersey, and he brought with him, it was brand new on VHS, WrestleMania 4. And I remember I watched that and I was completely just taken out of my space and just fell in love with it. And I watched it off and on, way more on than off. My all-time favorite wrestler, The Rock. Right behind him is Bret Hart. And so it was kind of cool to get back into it. Wrestling definitely hit a dip there for a while. I think they're coming back. I think that's something AEW is helping. A competition is a good thing. And guys like, in my opinion, with Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, got a lot of folks killing it. And if you haven't, Brad, did you get a chance to watch the Cody documentary on Peacock yet?
No, I didn't. Only because I have to wait for my wife, and she would just and she's actually working the Iowa State
That's
Fair
fair.
right now. So it's like, okay, babe, you when is this happening?
Right,
Uh,
right,
I
right, right.
I almost did it today. I almost did it
Sure,
today. I was
sure,
just like, I need at least to watch a movie, so I have a
sure,
movie of the week.
sure, 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 sure.
Which the one that I did watch, let's just say in for the Beardies, well, yeah,
Might hit
yeah.
a low or a high. I'm feeling that it wasn't the greatest.
Oh, we'll get there.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is, I'm much more of a WWE fan than an AEW fan. So I watched SmackDown and have some thoughts on that. I don't know if you got a chance to watch Raw, but we feel we chop it up just a couple things when it
Hmm?
comes to the WWE before we move to our to traditional parts of our show.
Do it. Let's find out about SmackDown. I did not get to
Okay.
watch Raw, by the
All
way.
right. So I'll cover SmackDown, which is right now their A show. And again, just real quick historical perspective. So WWE, at least for the past 25-ish years, has had two shows on in prime time. So Monday Night Raw, which has been on the USA Network in some form or fashion for 30 plus years easily. And then SmackDown, which have been on the USA Network and has been on Fox for a little bit. And SmackDown's moved around. It's been on Fridays. It's been on Thursdays. It's been live. It's been taped. It's actually come to Des Moines here, where you and I live, quite a few times. So this most recent week of SmackDown, which is now their A show because it's on Fox. So because it's on more traditional television network, they've made it the number one show. Even though Monday's still the night of wrestling, and there are a few major things that happen with it. So I really got three. I'm not going to run through a 2 hour show on the podcast. I'm giving my three big takeaways that I think really show you where we're going. So takeaway number one is this. I think the megastar that we both like, even though we both know he is basically copying Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, is one Mr. L.A. Knight. Yeah. And LA Knight beat Top Dollar, remember the Hit Row. Nothing really big there. What's a big part of that is just the crowd reaction. Okay.
Hmm.
And we've seen this with wrestlers in the past. We saw it with Stone Cold once it became Stone Cold. We saw it with The Rock once it became The Rock. We've seen it with Daniel Bryan. We've seen it with wrestlers that maybe the company doesn't have the greatest plans for, but the crowd gets so into them that they become, I think, John Cena, when he was the rapper John Cena,
Yeah.
really worked on it. And we're seeing this with LA Knight, someone that A year ago, 6 months ago, got kind of lukewarm crowd reaction. The fans come out of their seat every time his music hits. They know his catchphrases. They chant along in his matches. And so those things happening over and over again will most likely get him the push that he deserves to get probably at least a mid-level title like the United States Championship, which is the mid-level title on his show.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good to see. Thing two, takeaway. Speaking of that mid-level title, the United States Championship. Well, we had a change of title. So
Nice.
the match we were supposed to get was not the match that we got. The match we were supposed to get was be Austin Theory, A-Town from Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta B specifically, was supposed to defend against a member of the LWO, which stands for Latino World Order. However, that match didn't happen due to some backstage shenanigans. He pulled a
Of
best
course.
his Ric Flair. He tried to be the dirtiest player in the game. So instead of him defending against his original opponent, he had to defend against the inventor of the 619, the person who may or may not be the biological father of Dominic Mysterio, one Rey Mysterio, who is also currently already in the WWE Hall of Fame. And Rey Mysterio defeated Austin Theory in a really good match to become the brand new United States champion.
Very good. Very good.
That also is most likely going to see what happens with his stablemate who was supposed to be in this match. Not only didn't get the rest of the match, but obviously didn't win the title. So we're probably going to see some things coming of that. And then
Booyaka, booyaka.
and then we have, of course, now this will be very interesting though. Just before I get to that, with the Buddha, if you don't know, do it for us again, Bradley.
Booyaka, booyaka.
The Booyaka Booyaka is the entrance tones of Rey Mysterio's entrance music. Now, this is something very interesting, though. So now within the WWE, and my thing is WWE has way too many titles. They've got titles on Raw. They've got titles on SmackDown. They've got titles on NXT. But what we do have is you now have the North American champion, who is Dominic Mysterio, and his father, Rey Mysterio, allegedly, both hold mid-level titles. So maybe we'll get some type of match between those two.
Be
And
awesome.
then the third piece, before I maybe have another cameo coming, is the lead storyline across all WWE programming, which is, and I think it's a really good storyline, which is the bloodline, right? So last week we talked about SummerSlam and the big thing that happened when Jey Uso with an E, Jey wrestled his cousin, legitimately his biological cousin, Roman Reigns, in tribal contact, which is a no disqualification match for their championship. And right as he looked like he may have the title resting for Roman Reigns, who at the end of this month will be legitimately champ for over 3 years. If he makes it to September, he'll have gone over 3 calendar years as champion. That match was broken up by Jay's twin brother, Jimmy, who interrupted, and then Roman Reigns defended and retained the title. So everybody wants to know what happens here. Is Jimmy going back to the bloodline? What's happening? And Bradley, here's the long and short of what happened. Jimmy explained when he attacked Jay was he realizes that absolute power corrupts absolutely. He saw how Roman Reigns changed as he became the tribal chief. You're my brother. I don't want to have that happen to you. So that's why I stopped you and actually let himself up. Go ahead. If you want to kick my teeth out for doing that, feel free. And Jay didn't do that. Jay actually had a bit of a struggle and a fight, real brief, with Solo Sikoa, his other brother, and his cousin, again, Roman Reigns. And then as he's walking up the rampway, Jimmy starts coming back because Jay has his arm now stretched like for a hug. As Jimmy's walking up to Jay super kicks him. And then he says this to the camera. He goes, I'm out of the bloodline. I'm out of SmackDown. I'm out of the WWE. And then goes deuces, ooses. Oos is a term that stands for cousin. It is basically a term of endearment you will hear across many Polynesian languages. So that was his way of possibly quitting the WWE. And in fact, if you go to their website, his image is no longer on their active page. He's in their alumni page of folks that formerly wrestled there. So you text me, Bradley, and I didn't answer, but I won't talk about it on tonight's podcast. But briefly, do you think, you asked me, but I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
Do you think Jay Uso, or he may go by a different name because that's his
Yeah.
trademark WWE name, do you think he's leaving the WWE possibly for AEW?
Yes. Yes, I do. I think honestly, I think he will be a bigger name over in AEW.
Absolutely.
And and right now you see a lot of people going to AEW coming back. Cody Rhodes, I don't think it's the last time we will ever see him on Jay on WWE, but I think he's going to go to AEW for a while.
All right. Well, just to let you know, so Jay Uso, his real name is Joshua or Josh Fatu. There is definitely an opportunity that if you go to your AEW, it is a smaller pond right now. They're trying, and he definitely will have the chance to really rise up. So pretty much every major name that's come from the WWE has gone to AEW has been pushed really hard.
Mhm.
Chris Jericho, Cody Rhodes, Christian Cage, even folks that aren't actively wrestling like the Big Show, still get in a prominent position. Now, my thoughts is, while it may be interesting if Jay or Mr. Fatu was to go to AEW, I personally don't think so. 'Cause I think this is still an elongated part of the storyline. Number one is this: the WWE has a habit of really not acknowledging when people leave. Now, he could have went off script and just
Yeah,
did that in front of the cameras.
CM Punk
The-
style.
yeah, but then the other thing is, remember, as Punk famously left a pay per view that he was leaving the WWE, he was off television for quite a while,
Mhm.
and then he popped in. Even if I thought Jay, and there's definitely could be said if he number one would come in as a single, he would again if another organization that has a lot of titles, which AEW, I think there's too many titles in wrestling, period. But definitely if he went to AEW, he'd have a chance to really go up there. And I think him and MJF will have some really good matches. But I think he's staying for one reason and really one reason alone. There was a recent interview that he and his brother did of kind of what and Joshua or Jay is the more verbal of the two twins. If you ever see them giving interviews, he's the one that talks a bit more. And his promos are stronger than his brothers. He has said that when you grow up in a wrestling family and you're twins, so you're each other's you're each other's first tag team partner, you're each other's first opponent. What an awesome thing would be if they got to wrestle each other before their careers are done, and they're both only 38. They still got a lot of years
Mhm.
in front of them. If they wrestle each other at WrestleMania. So
Yeah.
here's my thought. This is a way of getting Jay Uso off of television. You can have Jimmy rejoin the bloodline. Have Jimmy do his own. Jimmy was adamant he wasn't rejoining the bloodline, but this gets him off of television. It's August. You get him off of television maybe until, let's say, the Royal Rumble. He comes back at the Rumble. He does something with his brother. They can again kill time, if you will, until they get their WrestleMania match. And his contract is legitimately up for negotiation. So he's probably like anybody. These guys put their men and women put their bodies on the line. It would be
Mhm.
great if they're well compensated. But I don't think he's done. Number one, I don't think he's leaving his brother. The other brother act that we've seen do something similar are the Hardys. They're better when they're both in the same organization when they're
Yeah.
not. But that's really quickly. I thought it was a this storyline that they've kept going now for a few years with Roman as champ, with Jay being in and Jay being out, the whole deal with Sami Zayn, all the people that Roman has beaten, sometimes straight up, sometimes with help. Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre, Cody, all these people, we're building to a crescendo that we're probably on the tail end of the run. We probably will see the bloodline thin minimally in the coming months. But I'm not thinking anything major before WrestleMania. But this has always just been a highlight. And this to me is the wrestling that I grow, that hey, I want to watch every week. I don't need to see people bleeding, barbed wire, even people being pinned every week. I want to see the things that made me interested in these folks as characters, and I think the Bloodline is doing that and doing game busters of. So that's my really quick SmackDown report. My top three.
Very good. All right. With that, let's go on to the movie and TV shows of the week. Brian,
Let's
what do you
do it.
got, buddy?
All right. So my movie of the week was Heart of Stone. featuring Gal Gadot. You may know her better as Wonder Woman. This was a really good, and it was better than I thought and different than I thought the movie was going to be. So, if you've not had a chance to watch it, Brad, I definitely think it's worth a watch. It starts off honestly a lot like True Lies, which made me not like it because I thought, is this just a True Lies? The
Mhm.
movie True Lies, not the TV show. Starts out a lot like the movie True Lies, and I go, this is just a different spin on True Lies. This won't do True Lies as well as True Lies did, and won't do True Lies as well as Fubar did True Lies. So I don't want to watch this. And it keeps that mood up, and it's worth the wait till about 10 minutes in. And without spoiling, in case you haven't seen it, there's a major change, and I think it goes gangbusters from that point forward. So I really, really like Heart of Stone. Bradley, had you had a chance to watch it?
Yes, and
Okay.
I did not like it. So actually, this is my movie of the week because it's the one movie I watched this week.
Really?
This movie, yeah, dude, I could not get invested in it. I
Oh,
watched it. I got through like the first like 30 minutes,
sure.
and I was just like, I didn't. Well, we can spoiler alert, guys.
Sure. Yeah.
So spoiler alert. So their work, she's like a level above the intelligence team that she was
Yes.
working with,
Yes. Yes.
and
Yes. She's
Jamie
a member
Dornan
of
is
the
in there.
charter.
Yeah, yeah, which I just found myself thinking it was really stupid.
Okay.
Like I could not get invested in it at
right.
all. I gave it the ultimate try. As a matter of fact,
Let's do it. Let's do it.
here's my rating. Here
Let's
is
do it.
my
Let's do it.
beardy for
Time out
Hearts of
before you
Stone.
go there. Understand this may be, and I think it might be the first time in the history of our podcast that you and I, we've had differences,
Right,
but we've never been like opposite.
right, yeah,
So
yeah,
this is going to be our Siskel and Ebert moment, like something that I dug that you didn't. And by the way, you're typically the softer touch on ratings,
yeah.
so I can't wait to hear this. What'd you give it?
This is 14-year-old boy with the first little hairs coming on his face rating. Like
Okay,
I man, like I had to force myself to finish it, and I was just like the entire time I'm just like, don't care.
okay, fair.
So, but you know what, man? Like I will say this, it wasn't Gal Gadot's fault.
True.
I
Okay.
didn't buy. I bought her. I
Yes.
didn't buy the other people working in the super secret
Okay.
intelligence, and I
Sure.
didn't buy her team in the MI6. Like
Okay.
I like Jamie no oh god Dolan I can't Dolan no I can't
I
think
think
of
it's
his name.
Dolan. I think it is Dolan.
Yeah, Doran.
Okay.
But everybody else did not fit the part.
Gotcha. All right.
I got to hear your beardies
Okay.
on this,
My
man.
beard is coming. So here's number what I liked about it. Again, I think they gave us. I'd be lying if I said we've never seen the. Hey, we got the spies. Then
Mhm.
we got the super spies. Then we got the super duper spies. It's not that we've not seen that. Kingsman
Right.
gives us that,
It was
right?
new. I
It
will
was
give it that.
Yeah. But I like the aspect of the heart. I really like kind of how they did that. I like when they started explaining a little. They always kept it a little fuzzy, but they
Mhm.
explained a little bit more. And this, if this was a series, they probably have time to go
It
more
would
into
have
the
made a
details.
better series.
Yeah,
It really
yeah.
would have made
Probably
a better
don't.
series.
But you also don't get her for a series. That's a lot of time.
True.
Which okay, you can run with another star. But with that being said, I think was it life changing? No. Here's how I kind of tried to rate it. I agree with you. It would have been better as a series. B, it would have probably flopped in the theaters.
Yeah.
This is not something I would have paid money to go see, but by the fact that it's streaming to my house, and it's a good popcorn movie. That's
Mhm.
what gave it to me a positive rating. So
Gotcha.
my beauty though is gonna give it. I'm gonna give it a 3.8.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it the Bonaducci. I'm gonna
Gotcha.
give it. Used to be fresh face, but now got a few tasks. One of them being misspelled because I got it like 15. I didn't know what I was doing, But I got a little ruggedness. Maybe I had me a bottle of Hennessy at 10 a.m. and I got that scraggle going on right here. That's
Right.
what I'm gonna give for Heart of Stone.
Awesome. Any TV shows of note this week?
I caught up on Lioness, loving it.
Dude, that is so
Loving it.
good. I
Loving
love
it.
that show so much, man.
Yes.
That and
And
Twisted Metal are
yes,
just not like Twisted Metal is probably going to be my favorite show of the year.
you know what? There's a leading, but I got one that may come out of they're going to be a late entry because they're going to become later in the year.
Mhm.
But the show that I'm most excited for is Taylor Sheridan's take on Bass Reeves. I
Mm.
am so excited
Yeah,
for
is that
that.
November?
I've seen fall. I've not seen
Okay,
more
fall,
specific than
gotcha.
fall. That to me, I mean, he's not had a miss yet. Yellowstone and everything to do with Yellowstone.
Yeah,
Mayor
we are
Kingstown.
very, very big fans.
We're big
Taylor
fans here.
Sheridan.
Yeah, Mayor Kingstown.
Yeah.
Tulsa King, and now obviously Special Ops
Yeah.
Lioness.
Dude, that's so
So
good.
I am really, really excited for this. Bass Reeves is a great. I'll see it now. I don't know what take he's gonna take. This is a real person.
Mhm.
I don't know how true to legend it will be. And for those of you who don't know, Bass Reeves was the first, as far as we can tell, the first legitimized legal person of color, black man in this country who was a lawman.
Yeah.
So he was the first law enforcement officer of color that this country ever had. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this.
That's little Monica.
I think LaMonica Garrett is playing him. Yes.
Yeah. And he's in Lioness too. And
he's great in Lioness.
Right up until like this last episode, he's
Okay.
just kind of been there. But like he actually did something. This dude is jacked in this.
First off, he's really jacked.
Woo.
Secondly, even though he's not had a lot of speaking, he's there and always has that presence.
Yeah.
Around him. And think also has got the strong beardy. Okay, my guy's his facial hair game is on point.
It is.
So yes. Plus, that's just a cool name. LaMonica Garrett.
Dude.
Like, you have to be an actor.
Right.
Like, you can't go see your account. Who's your account? Oh, LaMonica Garrett. No, it's not.
No, it's not. That's not that.
Yeah. That is awesome. So yes, movie of the week was Heart of Stone. Show of the week was Lioness. What about you? What was your show of the week this week?
Twisted Metal, man. I finished it, and other than that, I've been watching a bunch of NCIS because you can't go wrong with NCIS.
Gotcha.
So
and for anyone that's listening and watching the podcast, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse dropped this week. It's a great purchase. It's $20. Whether you get the standard HD or UHD. And honestly, it holds up watching it from home. It really does.
Awesome.
In fact, one of the things that is actually even better watching home, because sometimes with all the different Spider people in the Spider Society, their names are so quick, it's hard to keep up. Since you can stream it, which also means you can pause it, you can actually catch, if you want to really get nerdy and geek out to it, you actually track all the different Spider people in the Spider Society. So it's held up really good.
Awesome. Well, with that, let's go ahead and hit some music.
Let's do it, my friend.
We'll go.
Get your earphones in, everybody, and everybody hear us out. We are Rob Uton and Brian Dennis, and this is PVOTN.
All right, welcome to the Fandemic. This is a podcast that celebrates all the things that we feel are awesome in hopes of spreading our fandom to you. In Lone Star, I go through the best bad reviews I can find based on title alone. In Prevention of the Nerds, we tell the stories that could have happened before and after your favorite movies, TV shows, and so much more. In the Fandemic, we look at supporting casts and properties that we adore, or we tribute our favorite actors, movies. Or it's been a while, we just catch up on everything. And I also have interesting conversations with people that I may or may not know. I am the self-proclaimed Emperor of Awesome, Bradley Butin, and with me is the unverified twin of Dwayne The Rock Johnson in the eyebrow, the unverified twin of Dave Bautista in the head wrinkles, and the unverified twin of Shamar Moore in the nipples. Who are you, sir?
I am Brian S. Dennis, where this week the S stands for Do Not Pass Go.
Yes. Well, on that, you know what? Let's go ahead and go. Why don't you go ahead and introduce the topic of the evening?
Fantastic. So here's what we're gonna do. So as you were hearing in our prologue to the show, we really love the show Twisted Metal, which is a show based on a video game. And guess what? We've also had lots of things based on board games. And I don't know about you, Bradley, but one of my family's favorite, but also a board game that's known to draw blood is Monopoly. So what we're
Yes.
gonna do is we're gonna talk Monopoly in all the ways. And the first way we're going to talk about Monopoly is, sir, I have a few tats for you. So
Bring
think
it.
about this with Monopoly. All right. So, number one, I'm going to quiz you on a couple things with Monopoly. So, quiz question number one. We're going to call it, let's see if we can stump Bradley.
All right.
Brad, what is the most popular token? This is not your favorite,
Mhm.
but across the board, what has Hasbro reported is their most popular token?
The thimble?
No,
No.
it is. I'll give you one more chance. What do you think it might be?
The dog.
The race car. The
Really?
race
Man,
car
that's the
is
last one I always go to.
really.
Yeah,
It's my
I'm always
first. So
the
I'm good with
I'm always
that.
the top hat or the thimble.
All right. Well, I got so with that, I also let us know that historically, the wheelbarrow have
Mm.
been the least popular. The wheelbarrow actually got discontinued. So they've actually redone the tokens. So here are the current tokens. So you've got the dog, which is a Scottish Terrier specifically. You've got the battleship. You've got the race car. You've got the top hat.
Mhm.
You've got the penguin, which is new in 2017. And then you have a few more from 2017, new ones. So you have the cat.
Mm.
You also have the rubber ducky.
Mm.
And then Bradley, the thimble was actually discontinued, but it
What?
was brought back for high demand.
Thank
They
you,
actually,
Mattel.
they actually did away with the thimble to bring in a T-Rex. And the
That's kind of
T
cool too.
and but the thimble was so missed. No one missed the wheelbarrow apparently.
Right.
That because they discontinued the thimble and the wheelbarrow at the same time. That's when they brought in the cat and the T-Rex. But the T-Rex actually went the way of the dinosaurs. Literally, it's somewhere. If you know, it was they got gold bloomed. They got gold bloomed.
Yeah.
And
See, that's the piece that we need. We need the
Yes,
shirtless
we need.
Jeff
I
Goldblum.
want, but with like 4 buttons open,
Right,
right?
right.
On like
When
a
he's
couch.
laying on the side with his hand
Yeah,
on his head.
yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
Mattel, we're right here, guys.
yeah. Like paint me like you paint your French girls. Okay.
Right.
But with that, we got a thimble back. All right. Now, quiz question number 2. We can stump Bradley. Bradley, do you know the actual name of Mr. Monopoly? Most people call him Mr. Monopoly, but without Googling, what actually is the character's name?
Oh man, I've actually read this before, and it starts with an M, right?
It does.
Yeah, it's like oh my gosh, you know what, I got nothing. I just know it starts
It
with
is,
M.
but that's more than most people know. It is actually Milburn Pennybags.
Yes.
Some people think it's Moneybags. It is not. It is Pennybags.
Okay.
Also, just a couple things with Pennybags. Number one, he's married. He has a wife named Mad. Even if she doesn't appear in the game, that's something that's part of his bio. But every year, there's a poll of the 15 rich, they call it the fictional 15, of the 15 richest fictional characters. I did a little research on this. So, number one, Bradley, one character that is not on the list is Santa Claus. And the reason Santa Claus is not on the list is, as we all know, Santa Claus is real. And there were lots of letters from people around the country that go, Santa Claus is real. How dare you put Santa Claus on the fictional 15? It also was said that Santa Claus, if Santa Claus was fictional, Santa Claus would be considered number one, as Santa Claus, as far as we know, has infinite amounts of money.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he pays the elves, so we should really look at some labor law things there.
So Brian, right now we do have a good guy that we both know commenting right now.
Okay.
We have the one and the only Corey Stevens.
I was gonna. If you said Ricochet, I was gonna lose it. All right.
Corey, I hope you're doing amazing, buddy. It's been a long time.
So, Corey, if you're following along, Bradley. So here's what I'm going to answer for you. So Pennybags in the fictional 15 is number 13. He's number 13. A couple characters that we really are fans of are just in front of him. So Bruce Wayne is at number 7.
Okay.
Tony Stark, though, is number 5. Do you want to guess who is number 1?
Who's number 1? I would say.
I'll give you a hint. It is a Disney character.
Scrooge McDuck.
Scrooge McDuck.
Yes.
Scrooge McDuck. Scrooge McDuck. Number 2, which shows there is no justice in the world, is as the leader of the Cullen clan from Twilight. He's number 2.
Really?
Yeah. 46 billion or something.
I guess not everything that glitters is gold, I guess.
Oh, is it? All right. Okay. Last question, and then we'll move forward here. So, my last question, and this one, Bradley, if you get it within $500, I will say you're correct. How much money when you open up a Monopoly game? It comes with the Monopoly money, the packaged money.
Mm-hmm.
If you counted it all, there is a certain dollar amount that it all comes to. If you can get within $500 of that, I will say you got it correct. So right now you're 1-1. We have 3 questions. The first one you missed. Mm-hmm. Second one you got right. So this is the rubber match. Number 3, within $500, sir. How much money is in a Monopoly game?
$20,000.
You missed it, unfortunately. It is $15,140.
Okay.
Last thing before we move forward. Also, while it is written in the Monopoly rules, but it's nowhere that you find it, that honestly, if you ever play Monopoly, you run out of money, you actually can write in your own funds. So that Monopoly, Hasbro has said they don't want that to be a reason that a game is not finished, is you're out of money. So actually it's allowable to start on paper creating your own money, which I go, no, at that point, we finally can go to bed. All right.
Right.
Okay, sir. So next up, we're gonna prevenge the game a little bit, weren't we, sir?
Yes. So I figured that we're gonna talk about what would a Monopoly movie or TV show or whatever it's gonna be look like. No, I came up with a synopsis of one, and I have my choice of who would be my Mr. Monopoly.
Gotcha.
As well. And so I'll give this to you, and then we'll kind of discuss it. So here's my synopsis. This is the story about how an unknown person becomes Mr. Monopoly, where he learns the art of the deal, and sometimes it's good to stay in jail a little while. He also becomes part of a shadow government that owns the majority of the country, and how he wants to tear it down by making it possible for 6 people to buy, sell, or trade their way to riches. This game will be played for years, and perhaps someone else will pick up the monocle.
First off, that's great. But Bradley, I have a little bit of bad news for you. The monocle
never happened.
Is Mandela. It is a Mandela that Mr. Monopoly or Pennybags, Uncle Pennybags specifically, has never worn a monocle. And I believe even when you see sometimes they have people that dress up as him for Halloween or different things, the monocle is really common. But if you look at any of the images, he really does not have a monocle.
Yeah. Now, my casting choice
Okay.
for my Mr. Monopoly is Andy Serkis.
Oh, that's really good.
Andy Serkis would be my Mr. Monopoly. My Monopoly movie would be it would be like Wolf of Wall Street meets
Sure.
like Interstellar, perhaps, you know, like
Sure.
something that, you know, you're going after the corporate greed aspect
Gotcha.
of it.
Gotcha.
But you're also kind of, you know, like this dude is getting in to tear down the shadow government because
Sure.
we're not really free, you know. Uh
Right.
so what do you think, man?
I like that. I like that. I really like that premise. So I have a little tweak on it. So
Okay.
my tweak would be my penny bags would be Jack Black. I think Jack Black he's kind of
Dude, that'd be
chubby.
so awesome.
Yeah, he's chubby. He's actually a decent actor.
And he'd wear a monocle for sure.
He would just commit to it.
Oh
He'd
yeah.
go hardcore as Pennyback. I think I'm gonna watch Jumanji, the last two that have him in it because he steals the movie. But number one, I think I would do Jack Black. I also was thinking, given that Hasbro owns Monopoly, I think we've got a built-in crossover here
Mhm.
based on a movie you and I saw just a few weeks ago, which is you've got the Transformers, you've got, spoiler alert, now you've got G.I. Joe. Can we tie in Monopoly? Can
Cobra.
can can Mr. Moneybags actually, the way that I see it, well, we actually don't get Pennybags as the affluent corporate owner. We find that Pennybags has been removed. Pennybags has had his company taken over by this really evil empire. And while he may be sitting there as a figurehead, what we wind up finding and this would be a good way, similar to how we had Trevor and the Mandarin. While we all think that Jack Black is this horrible person, we get there, and as he's been taken prisoner, and what we see on the side of his neck is a tattoo, a brand, if you will, that is a cobra.
Dude.
And we realize now that the true monopoly that has been taken over country after country, shadow governments, is none other than Cobra.
And you could call it Monopoly Risk.
I like it. The Cobra Corporation.
Right.
That's
So
what it would
then
be.
you have the
Yes.
G.I. Joes there's this whole little like game of strategy trying to free, dude. That's awesome. I love it.
Yes. And my thought would be, and I just forgot his name. So you've been watching NCIS. So I was thinking I would actually have someone because of the car. I would actually have someone, driving the car, racing to do all these challenges to defeat the evil empire. And I was thinking that the person that would be the star of it, I would name him Ace Card for a card.
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking from NCIS New Orleans, the younger guy from that, he was also in Legion. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but I really think he would just be that Southern twang. All those things would just be perfect.
Yeah.
To just go. I'm this downtrodden guy trying
Luke
to help
Black?
out.
Lucas
I
Black? Was that him?
I think that's it. I'm actually doing Lucas Black. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be perfect for it. So I think I like your idea, but I think we changed a little bit of tweaking it. I just person like Jack Black, but then again, and you can actually do it almost as a kind of like with Transformers. It's an action movie. You could do Monopoly similar to how they did Clue. Clue is probably my favorite game, at least board game. They've turned into a movie. You can do it kind of funny, but dark comedy. And then at the end of when they do all this, you realize that it's Cobra. And then you last the veil, and then now you've tied in. And really, we've tried the dark universe. That didn't work. They're struggling with the DC cinematic universe. What about the Hasbro verse?
Dude, that's awesome. Hopefully, DC will be better a week from now when Blue Beetle comes out.
I got my fingers crossed, my friend. I got my fingers crossed. Absolutely. So yes, so that's my prevenging of Monopoly, sir.
I dig it, man. Do you think that a Monopoly movie would be better off as a drama, better off as a comedy, or do you think it would be better off as the animated
Sure.
or something, or like even making it a horror movie? I guess I don't.
Right. I think I want to be live action, but I think, and I've not seen Barbie, but what I would say is I'd almost treat it like Legally Blonde or one of those where it's meant to be a comedy, but has some serious things underneath it. Definitely have those serious undertones. You want a really good actor, and I wanted to again expand about what, because really, I was reading even the origin of the game. The game actually came out really to talk about to teach young kids about economics and money and
Mhm.
numbers, and that was really it really was a learning tool that now it has taken on a life of its own. But I think in a point that we have a shrinking world with globalization, we have a concentration of wealth, we have more and more poor people. You could really do it almost like a dystopian future type deal. You could say, you could take a time jump between, G.I. Joe, Transformers to like today, because those movies happened in the 90s based on the most recent film that we saw, and really see this mega corporation taking over. And again, you've got our boy Ace Carter, A Card, really trying to even the playing field and given these tasks. Part of it was even with Twisted Metal, where we have him going from place to place as the milkman. What you have in Monopoly, you got all the areas. You've got the brown product, the light blue, pink, orange, red, yellow, green, and dark blue. You could give each one of those colors, so each one of those neighborhoods, a personality. And really, he's given tasks to try and help those folks that inhabit those areas, those zones, if you will. And even once he does everything he should win, he's screwed over by who we think is Pennybags, and that winds up being Cobra.
Man, so cool. I dig it, man. Uh, good job. That was a lot of fun. If you think you have a really good pitch for a Monopoly movie, let us know here. So Brian, you have an honest ad,
I
correct?
do.
I can't
Are
wait to
you
hear it.
ready
I'm
for my
ready.
honest ad? All right, here we go. Bradley, do you hate your family? Do you hate your friends? Come together for the game that never ends. A roll of the dice. Doubles make twice, but you lose your turn if doubles hit thrice. Pick your tokens and bring your wits. It is bankruptcy or victory. You cannot quit. Community chess. Get out of jail free. Chance cards move you spaces 1 or 2, but never 3.
Hmm.
Collect 200 when you pass go, or Zulidol with taxes. Wesley Snipes will know. But if you use your brains and your luck holes, purchase hotels and railroads, you can leave your loved ones out in the cold. The honest ad for Monopoly.
Dude, that was fantastic. I really dug that one. Great job. Great job. So
By the
with
way,
that,
every Monopoly game ends more often with one thing.
oh yeah.
Your table flipped over.
So how often? Okay, I'm sure. Well, but Kaylee probably won't listen to this, but I try to find a way to cheat in every game of Monopoly.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and I don't know about you, but when I'm playing, I try to make awesome deals because to me,
Oh,
that's
I'm
the best part of the game.
I will argue with our former president. That's what I have the art of the deal. Like I'm sitting
Right.
there.
Yeah. It's like, you know what? I will make this trade with you, but I don't ever want to pay rent on this property.
Facts.
What? I'm like, you'll be able to get a Monopoly. You'll be able to put your stuff on there.
Yep.
But I never want to pay rent. That's my favorite
Yeah.
deal to make with those.
Yes.
I'm like,
Yes.
man, and I played Anna and Leia several times, and
Yes.
it's like playing Uno. Uh, if you can win, you got to win.
Right.
You can't let people win at
Right.
Monopoly.
Not at Monopoly. There's a
In
lot of
Uno.
games you can let kids win,
Right.
but not Monopoly.
Right, because you said it best. Monopoly, it was designed as an educational tool.
Yes.
So
Yes.
who am I to take that chance,
That
to
opportunity away.
educate?
Yes. That is really being selfish.
Right.
And you know, here at Preventing the Nerds, we believe that childhood should be treasured. Childhood should be protected. We treat childhood almost like if it was a box under the bed that you guard with your very soul until late at night or the 10 minutes that the kids are at the neighbors. Slowly pull it out. And you go, Brad Pitt, what's in the box? Okay. With that though, A, yeah, don't take it from them. And B, here's my also deal. You cannot. That's why I was in the honest ad. You cannot quit a Monopoly. So that's a rule in my house that if we start Monopoly at 8:30 at night, we will finish. And I don't care if I gotta go to work, you gotta go to school, and no one gets but 12 minutes of sleep. We have to finish the game because it's Monopoly.
If you want out, you have to make a deal.
Yes, you can't quit.
If you want out, you'll be like, hey, I'm going to sell you all my properties and everything for like $200 or $1 or something like that.
Right.
And I'm going to naturally go bankrupt.
I may know a guy on this podcast who, when his son was, I think, 7 years old, and it was really late, he goes, I just want to quit. And I remember this parent looking at his beautiful son in his eyes and going, no. You've seen Rocky 4, correct?
Yes.
And found the inner Ivan Drago. I will break you. Yeah, there's no quitting.
No.
There's no quitting. I'm bankrupting you, dude.
Yeah, so, and now you're number one on my list. And actually, now I want to keep you floating just so you have to play longer.
Seriously. At this point, you're too small to fail. No. Yeah, I'm not that one.
School's not over yet.
That one house you got. We got this. We doing this together. All right.
Right.
Yes. Which is why we're the parents that we are. Okay.
Exactly. Oh. All right. So with that, what I did also because of Twisted Metal, is that I wanted to think about any other games out there from the same era, and think about like what would that kind of look like. So I made a list of 25 games from the PS2 era. I think there's a couple of like Xbox exclusives on here as well, and some Super Nintendo and that area. But I'm going to go through these. Let me know if you remember them and what you think. I try to do some of them that most of them I think you'll get. You'll get. Now, if you remember, like, so Twisted Metal is a show that was based on like driving around cars and blowing each other up.
Yeah, as the actual show will tell you, basically you're left with one thing. You're left with two things if you're an outsider: cars and guns.
Yeah, and that show had so much heart in it. And great performances, Stephanie Beatriz and Anthony Mackie.
And like, Will Arnett. I mean,
yeah.
And by the way, his role was voice acting. It did fantastic.
Yeah, for Samoa Joe.
Yes.
And dude, like I tell you what, Anthony Mackie and Stephanie Beatriz, like they need to do a rom-com together.
Yes,
they need to do so many things together because they were fantastic.
Yes, and got to give it up to Neve Campbell. Was in basically the first and last episode and did a great job. And obviously there was a lot more of her in season 2. So just great cast all around.
Yeah, which I'm sure we'll get. All right, so Brian, are you ready for my list?
I am ready, my friend.
All right, so and this isn't in any order, so I'm just going to go one down. I'm going to start my list with Turok, the Dinosaur Hunter.
Yeah, I think that definitely. Now, this one I'm go movie more than TV series, and I think again anything that can do big with dinosaurs. Yep. I want more Jurassic Park, less what was that? Less the tar pit one. The shoot, what
Oh,
was
the
it
one that we
called?
hated.
Yeah, La Brea. Yeah,
Yeah, La Brea.
give us.
I still, there's a part of me that wants to watch it just to see how bad, because it
I
got a
think it
season
got
2.
yeah, but I thought it got 2 seasons out of it.
Yeah, so I want to watch. I kind of want to watch it just to be like, how?
Fox must have, I mean, it was on Fox. Fox must have really been like, you know what? We've already sank some money into this. We got to give it one more shot. One
All
more
right, dude.
shot.
You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna
Okay.
try to watch it again, and
I
we're
will
gonna
not. I'll
revisit
see
La
how you
Brea.
survive it. You tell me how it goes. Please.
All right, man.
All right.
After Turok, I'm gonna look at Odd Worlds.
Oddworld's not for me. Give me Oddworld.
That's the one with the Abe's Odyssey, Oddworld.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, okay. All right.
Yep. After that, here's one I'm guessing you probably heard of, The Bard's Tale.
Yes. Yes.
I think that one would be perfect for something like
and
that.
that will be a good series.
Set in the medieval times, everything.
Right. Yes.
It'd be like The Witcher, with Deadpool, pretty much.
Yeah. And given that one I think is tailor made for either something like Paramount or even Max, because you can have really stronger language in that. So that would be one of those. Yes, absolutely.
All right, after Bard's Tale, what about Beatdown: Fists of Vengeance? Do you remember that game?
Yes. And
It's just a beat me up game.
Yeah. But beat me up games are good, and again, but that one to me, I think, again, I'm drifting more movie with that one, because I think the storyline is really simplistic, that you could really just make a really good, really early summer movie, or really that time that we've talked about before on the podcast, that late winter, pre-spring time frame that we get, like February to like the beginning of April, where there's not a lot going on because everybody's waiting for the summer movie season. That's one that you could do on a cheap. Have a couple. Get your boy Logan Paul in a movie.
There you go,
and go from there. Okay, not his brother. Don't give us Jake Paul. No one wants Jake Paul. All right.
What about Blood Rain?
That is one of my son's favorite games. Again, total Netflix, dark, gothic, all the things, 100%. 100%.
You'll get the same crew that loves Underworld. You can even get like the director of Underworld.
Yes.
You could even absolutely.
I'm thinking it'll be a good playoff for even the Sandman fans out there. So yes.
Absolutely. All right, what about Clay Fighters?
That one I'm not familiar with at all. You got to give me
that.
Clay
Was
Fighters.
a Nintendo.
Okay.
It was a fighting game, but you're these clay people things.
Okay.
So it'd almost be like a Five Nights at Freddy's type thing.
Okay. So definitely got to go animated with that one.
Yep.
That could be a good Amazon one, because we've already established between Invincible and the fantasy one we really like, and I'm blanking on his name. Vox Machina. I think they're similar themes.
Nice. Yep. And what about Dead or Alive?
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, again, some of these are no-brainers. I really like that they're doing Dead or Alive. And again, that to me, give me Taylor Sheridan. Have him write Dead or Alive.
That'd be cool. That would be really cool, actually. But you know what? I think there's actually one on here that actually be better suited for Taylor Sheridan. A couple actually, but we'll get there. What about Killer Instinct? KI.
Was that the one with like the bees fighting?
Nope. That's on here though. That's Primal Rage. So we'll just go into Primal Rage. Yeah, but those two were a lot alike.
Okay.
And Primal Rage was the one that I was thinking about that I put down that was Killer Instinct, and I'm like, wait a second. And then I saw Primal Rage. I'm like, okay, so
okay, all right.
Yeah.
So again, anything that gives us those animated fighting ones again can be, I think, they're really good popcorn movies. And like all these depends on how well you do them. Some are definitely going to be better in the theater. Some will be better on like a streaming service. Some will be better series versus movies. But right now, I've not heard anything. I would go, you know what? I just don't see how that's a thing. Like always, you have to know what your product is. And the still 2 seconds of time, what Twisted Metal has given is like, okay, Twisted Metal, the video game, there was no depth in that.
No.
It was cars and guns. And
sold a lot.
Yeah, but what you have seen with the Twisted Metal series is you have good writing,
Mhm.
very good acting,
Mhm.
and even the parts that it is basically cars and guns. You know what? As long as you do that in a smart, slick way, that's cool. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. All right, sir. Next up.
And this would have to be done by Antoine Fuqua.
Okay.
Def Jam Fight for New York or Vendetta.
Number one. Number one. Number one. Number freaking one is this will be number one. Of all the ones you said, this is the home run that you gotta get. You're right. This is gritty. This is New York. This is the soundtrack. This is everything that is meant to be again.
It would write
Uh
itself. It
it
really
will
would just
write
write it.
itself.
I mean, all you need is the
Yes.
actors in there
Yes.
and show a couple of fight
Yes.
moves, and then
Yes.
I don't even care what the script is. You got my
Yes.
money.
Yes, you get some young folks, and you know what? You know who needs executive producers? Okay, Antoine Fuqua needs to direct it, but Michael B. Jordan needs to produce it.
I'm sold.
Michael B. Jordan needs to produce it, and then they have to have him narrate part of it. They have to do that. All right. So again, for all you new producers and Hollywood power brokers, if you're listening, and we know you are,
And this episode is gold for you guys.
just run with it. We run with it. This gave you next 10 years of movies. All right.
That's
What's
right.
up?
All
What's
right.
next?
What about Destroy All Humans? I love this game so much.
I think this is one of the ones.
I mean, it would be animated. It would be.
Yeah. But I also think it's one of the ones you can actually do on regular television.
And you know who would be the voice of the alien?
Who?
Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, bro. Yes. Yes. With all that Van Wilder smirk that comes with it. The minute you said this, my head went to Invader Zim. I don't know why my head went straight to Invader Zim. Like that anger, but almost that anger that is almost endearing. Like, oh, look, he's little and he's mad. Yeah. Yeah. Kind of like whenever anyone likes Groot, when he's baby Groot and he's like going around like literally like taking people's toes and killing people. Oh, he's adorable, right? Because he's Groot. This will be very similar to that. Okay.
All right. Here's one I think you're going to like as well. And it's Galactic Wrestling. Another one that just writes itself.
It writes itself.
Produced by WWE or
100%.
AEW, whatever.
And it will be on Peacock, of course. They've got the distribution right there. And you know what? You could actually have, you know what? This is, so think about it. You've gotten John Cena with Peacemaker and other movies. You've got Dave Bautista had a good run with Drax, and he's really developing. The Rock is the biggest movie star in the world. Again, James Gunn, makeup, give us some, because Black Adam gave us something. Give us something. And then, but Cody Rhodes with Galactic Wrestling.
Oh, dude.
He already was Stardust, which, again, watch the documentary. He talks a lot about his feelings when it comes to being Stardust. By the way, Stardust also, and I don't know if you knew this, but the character Stardust that he played, that name comes from, it was actually a nickname that his dad had. So, so Dusty Rhodes in different times had also been called Stardust, which is where that name comes from. Anyway, but Cody Rhodes definitely should have he could be the promoter or something. I mean, he could be the babyface, wrestler as well. But I think that this gives Cody, you get Cody and Chris Jericho. So you got to go make friends with AEW.
Yeah.
But get Cody and Chris Jericho, and then you make this movie 100%.
All right. On this one would go back to the Old West. It's not Red Dead Redemption.
Okay.
It's Gun. Do you remember Gun?
I remember a little bit.
It had the yellow case.
Okay.
I won't spend any time there, but here's another one. This one is specifically Xbox.
Real quick, anything that's going to be like a Western, where he's had the total ability to lose the accent. Give me Liam Neeson. So if you're going to do it, give us Liam Neeson.
And Sam Elliott.
Yes. Did you know that Sam Elliott is actually younger than Harrison Ford?
What?
I looked it up the other day because
that's crazy.
I don't know if it was his birthday or it was an anniversary one he'd done, but all over my news feed was Sam Elliott's, because first of all, oh, did he pass away? Because it was
Yeah.
like Sam Elliott this, Sam Elliott that, and then one of the ones that I clicked on, it started off with his age, and it said, and this would have been only a couple weeks ago, if that, and it says Sam Elliott is 78 years old. Harrison Ford
Wow.
is 81. He is 3 years ish,
Wow.
3-ish years younger than Harrison Ford.
That's pretty awesome, though.
Yeah, which teaches you the difference when you've lived the life that Sam Elliott has versus you live the life that Harrison Ford has. All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man, Samuel is the only man whose mustache is better than most men's beards.
100%. I would take
Yeah.
his beard over Chuck Norris. I would take his mustache over Chuck Norris's beard any day.
Yeah. All right. So after Gun, we're going to talk about Fable. Do you remember Fable?
Yes.
Fable was such a great RPG.
Yes.
They would have to do it. It'd have to be a series, of course,
Yep,
because you
yep.
have to grow up. Because part of the thing about Fable is you start as a kid and you grow up and you
Yep.
have a family and you do all that sort of thing. So
Yep.
I think Fable would write itself as well.
And I've got the cast. Millie Bobby Brown, give us 11.
Dude, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But okay, after Fable, no, this would either have to be like the live action animated, kind of like the Lion King. But anyway, Jackson Dexter.
I forgot about Jackson Dexter.
And this would be more for geared towards maybe like late teens. The next couple will be that way. But
probably Cartoon Network.
Yep, cartoon. Yep. That and then this same category. Someone's go right into Sly Cooper as well.
Yeah. Yes.
You could really make it your own universe out of Jackson Dexter, Sly Cooper.
Yes.
A couple others, but
Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank. Well, there was an animated movie of Ratchet and Clank a few years ago.
Okay.
And it was actually pretty decent.
Okay.
However, that's why I didn't put that on. That's why I didn't put Ratchet and Clank on here.
Gotcha.
So, all right. After that, now I think there was a cartoon. Okay. But I wanted to get this on here because I think that this could be really good if they made it a little bit more risque.
Okay.
Mega Man.
Nice. Well, okay. I already did my normal joke about this, but could you imagine if Mega Man? Okay. Do you remember the movie Inner Space?
Yeah.
Okay. So I saw Inner Space. I saw Inner Space. I'd have to look and see, but I think I was like 12 or 13 years old.
Yeah.
And I saw it with my mom. So there's the thing. You've got the one guy with the prosthetic hand that he used as like a one-shot pistol, and then he had other thing. They see him, hanging out with the evil scientist, and you off screen, you hear him. You do a different attachment. And again, remember, I'm definitely a preteen at this moment, and all I hear is. And I had no idea what was going on. I remember I looked at my mom and she had this little Cheshire cat grin, and I totally missed the joke, right? Well, then you watch the movie as an adult. I think I watched it again like I was in college. I
get it now.
So now with Mega Man, you'd have to have almost like the same running joke of having someone who goes, "Well, other attachments," and he go, Patrick Warburton. That's who plays Mega Man. That over the top, like like when he plays Joe in Family Guy. Googoosh, yeah. Like Patrick Warburton would be fantastic. And honestly, if he was still around, RP to Adam West, either one of those would be the perfect.
Right.
I think you have to do it animated, but to be the voice of it. And honestly, yes,
Will Arnett.
Or Will Arnett. Basically, I would do if we did Mega Man, I agree with you, do it risque and make it everything that Buzz Lightyear was not.
Oh yeah,
make it
100%.
Everything that Buzz Lightyear was not.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Yep.
All right, and then on kind of on the same thing, but this is kind of more contrary, but Metal Slug.
Metal Slug, another one I'm not super familiar with. I love the game.
It's a lot like it was a lot like the earlier Mega Man game.
Oh, okay.
More side scrolling, but so kind of more like Contra, I guess.
Gotcha.
All right, now here's one. Leisure Suit Larry. The whole purpose of the game was to Get into girls' pants. Yes, it
Now
was
that's the Will Arnett one right there.
right. So so if you
Oh, Will
don't know what
Ferrell.
Leisure
Yeah.
Suit Larry is, look it up. Yes, there would be some stuff you have to do to make it, appropriate for these times.
Sure.
For sure. But I think something like that would be fun. Or you just go all in and just be like, okay, guys, we're gonna
Yeah.
offend everybody. It's like
There's-
Paradise PD episode 3, season 1. Have
I was-
you've seen it, right?
Yeah.
That the last 10 minutes of that episode is perfect because it offends everybody.
Or we haven't said this in a while. Hashtag Herogasm.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. All right. After Leisure Suit Larry, SSX Tricky.
That's a dirt bike one, right?
No, snowboarding where you have to go.
Snowboarding, okay.
Yeah, snowboarding. Yep.
All right. So again, I think that to me would be like the teen comedy one. That's something you can see on Disney Plus or anything like that. This would be a series. You can make it really cute and sweet. The heartthrob of the day. This is definitely something that's tailor meant for like Zac Efron and Zendaya. The totally rom-com part of this. It will probably make decent money. And you know what? This is one. Since I said Zac Efron, we haven't thrown this up. Let's make it a musical. Let's just go all in.
Oh,
Let's
dude,
just make it a musical.
It was known for its soundtrack anyway.
Yeah.
I have to say, dude, like, I don't know what happened, but I got hardcore into 90s punk pop. I mean, I was all about Blink 182 today.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway.
But Blink 182 is slept on. Blink 182 is a quality group. They have some hits. They have some hits. All right.
Yep. All right. After SSX Tricky, we're gonna go to Time Crisis. Do you remember Time Crisis?
I do remember thinking, but my head went to Johnny Depp. And I don't know why, but my head goes to Johnny Depp.
I mean, I'm fine with that. It's almost Time Cop is pretty much what it is Time Crisis.
Yep.
But you know what, Johnny Depp on something like that, you got my money.
Right.
Yep.
And luckily enough to pay Amber Heard that much.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
All right, so here's the one that when you brought up Taylor Sheridan, my brain went right to it.
Okay.
And that is Urban Rain. Do you remember Urban Rain?
I don't remember Urban Rain.
So Urban Rain was kind of like an updated Double Dragon set in like an urban setting.
Okay.
Where he's trying to take down these drug lords. He was a cop he's an ex-cop that's trying to all that kind of fun
burn
stuff.
out. Yeah.
Right. But man, dude, like Urban Rain, I remember having so much fun with that game.
Taylor Sheridan would have a field day. And again, since we're going casting, Benicio del Toro.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Dark, gristle, always in a bad mood. I do think Benicio del Toro purposely shows up the set hungover just so he can put himself in. And by the way, the only thing that they did not do well in the Marvel universe is they did not give us more Benicio del Toro. Come on.
Agree.
You made him the Collector. Really? Like, come on now. And not enough Benicio del Toro, not enough Jeff Goldblum. Maybe we get more of the Elders of the Galaxy or something.
Yeah.
All right.
But you know what? Marvel did. You bring up a great point. Marvel did make them brothers.
Yes.
So I mean, this is the way that it should be. In my head canon already has them on like our acting Mount Pleasant. I mean, Jeff Gold. If you have watched any episodes of the show, there's certain things that you will know about Brian and I that we love. Jeff Goldblum is one of them.
Yes.
She-Hulk is another one.
And we despise Andor.
Yes.
I mean, I think honestly, we would have go back and watch. I think the only actor we mentioned more with love than Jeff Goldblum is, of course, the godfather of the show, the patron saint of the podcast, one Samuel L. Jackson. L stands for Like, I think when we look at the show's Mount Rushmore, I think the two of the four spots are spoken for with Samuel Jackson, of course, Jeff Goldblum. Because remember, we said once upon a podcast was shirtless Jeff Goldblum makes everything better.
Yes. Yep. I got two more.
All right, let's hit it, my friend.
Darkstalkers. Remember that? That was the fighting game, kind of like Street Fighter, but only you were like a
Okay,
vampire.
I was going to Dark Riders. Okay, this is Stalkers. Okay,
Yep,
okay,
yep.
all right,
It was a Capcom game. So I mean, like you have all the monsters,
sure.
and you can do whatever you want with them, and at least at some point they got to fight. There, you got it.
All right, since with the writing strike really slowing down Deadpool 3 and production on that,
Hmm.
I'm sure I'm sure that I just lost his name just that quick. Logan and Van Helsing, darn, Australian actor plays Wolverine. Gosh, dog it. Why am I not thinking of his name right now? Uh anyway, but yeah, I see that's a starring vehicle for him, and I really wish I could think of his name right now. Shoot, Bradley, help me out. The actor who plays Wolverine,
Oh,
uh,
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. I almost said Hugo, and I know it's not Hugo. Hugh Jackman. All
Yeah.
right,
So apparently, that Taron Egerton is going to be a variant of Wolverine in Deadpool 3 as well.
love it, love it,
So
love it,
yeah.
love it.
All right, and I got one more, and I doubt you may not have heard of this game. This was
Right.
one of my favorite games when I was a kid,
All
and
right,
nobody's heard of this game.
okay,
I don't know why, but like my brother and I, we played the shit out of this game.
okay.
Excalibur 2047.
I have not heard of that.
It was on the Super Nintendo, and it was just a side scrolling where you found Excalibur, and now you have these powers and whatnot. And I just love that game so much. I think something like that would be awesome.
And with that one, I think I think you go to, just for the accent. I think you go to, I think you go to Baby Hemsworth.
Oh yeah, Chris.
Yeah, and you also, well, I think his little brother Liam. And
Mm.
here's what you could do. Well, here's a couple things. You will not have Miley Cyrus on the soundtrack. But you know what? Just because I'm that cat, I'd be like, hey, in the first scene, you're gonna bring a girl flowers. But that's just me. That's just me, because you know what? She can buy herself flowers. So
Right, yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. And after everything else he's done, give him a bone. Give him a bone. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Now I do got one for you.
Yes.
And to me, this is the game that is long overdue to be made into a movie. Do it animated, do it live action, do it do it motion capture, but just do it. My favorite video game as a kid, and this is a game that was a one-player game, and I played it pretty much by myself all the time until I wore it out. That is one Parappa the Rapper.
Yes.
Sir, a
Yes.
rapping dog with a beanie. Come on now.
Right.
We need Parappa in our lives, and I will not rest until we have some Parappa the Rapper.
So who voices him?
Oh, part of me goes Cena. You know what? Actually, I got it, and we would never get him. We would never get him, because this would kill the street credit he has spent the majority of his life building. Eminem. Like, I would just, you would have to just seriously print money to get him probably to do this. But I'd be like, can we get him? And wait a minute. I take it back. How on earth? And I'm sure this is going to kill me in the comment section. Who else would rap? Who else would voice a rapping dog? Snoop.
I mean, yeah, you're right there.
It's there.
Yeah.
It's there. I don't know why my head went to M.
He
gotta
has to be
Snoop.
the dad. He has to be his dad or something.
Like if you think what you could do all the tongue-in-cheek things.
Oh
like
God.
Like he could hand them, like, maybe, like, you're right, like, let's say Snoop's Parappa's dad.
Yeah.
And he goes to give him like the family mic, because Parappa also carried a mic with him everywhere.
Mhm.
But to get the mic, instead of being like in a case, it's rolled up in like blunt paper.
You know what? Actually,
And he goes, hey son, use this to light it up or something. Yes.
I honestly think that you almost go in the style of TMNT, and you make it like PG,
Sure.
but you still
Sure.
get Snoop. You
Sure.
have to have
You can
Snoop
still
in
get
there,
Snoop. Oh, you can get
right?
Snoop.
I
Yeah,
mean, like Ice Cube as Superfly
yes.
was so brilliant, so
Okay.
freaking brilliant. I loved
Okay.
it so much. But dude, that would be so perfect, man. So PlayStation and Xbox, if you're out there, and we know you are,
No, you are.
hit us up. We
Yes.
got some good ideas for you.
Again,
Yeah.
we'll get to there. We'll get to there. Bradley, do you have a better than us human of the week this week?
Man, I do not. I do not.
All right.
So I will just piggyback on yours. Who's your better
Well,
than us human of the week?
my pick this week, with given this how great it was on SmackDown, was I was going to give it to Jay Uso. However, I agree with you. He's a friend that I haven't talked to nearly as much. But Mr. Corey Stevens, you are listening, so you're going to be our better than us human of the week from our podcast all the way to your heart, sir.
Yes, and anytime you want to come on, buddy, we'll have you.
100%. 100%.
All right. Well, with that, all right, Brian, where can we find you?
As always, you can find me in the Book of Faces, Brian Steven Dennis. Give me a like, give me a follow. We like to keep it fun and occasionally weird.
Oh, yeah. You can tweet at me at Fandemic3. Message me on Facebook at The Fandemic. I'm also active on TikTok at Fandemic1. Hear my reviews and so much more. If you want to support the show, there are several ways to do so. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/The Fandemic. Brian and I will either toast you or roast you on the next episode.
Yes,
You can find us at Patreon at patreon.com/PVOTN Fandemic. Become an episode assistant, an episode producer, a pre-venge producer, like our friend Stacy. Or yes, you could be part of the Council of Nerds, starting at around $5 a month. Become a monthly supporter on anchor.fm, or just go to PayPal or Venmo if you want to give me a couple bucks. I won't say no at Bradley Butin. Or just share the show with someone you want to make a little more awesome. Because I did write the book on leveling up your awesome.
Facts.
Don't forget to leave a 5-star review. All right, so Brian, I think we are at max levels of awesome for the week. Let's end like we always do on a positive note.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for everyone that's in our podcasting universe. Thank you for joining us for what is the best part of our week, hopefully the best part of yours. So with that, thank you again, and please remember, no retreat, no surrender, and Goonies, never say die.
You know what? That just reminded me. I think we're going to be doing a Goonies retro event soon. More to come on that. The second I find out, I will definitely let you know, because
count me in on that.
We will be there.
Yes,
we will be there.
Yes,
yes,
yes, yes, yes. I will break. We got it. If they have a truffle shuffle contest, pencil me in. I'm going hard, sir.
Awesome. All right. So remember, friendship is like peeing on yourself. Everyone can see it, but only you get the warm feeling that it brings. Also, if cauliflower can become pizza, you, my friend, can do anything you want. If you think about it, every time you feel stupid, you just got a little smarter. And lastly, squirrels' cheeks are also their nutsacks. Don't let today end in a why didn't I? Oh, bye-bye.
Oh, bye-bye.